Now we come to the final topic in the first chapter of theory of machine, that is the mechanisms. The name of the topic is Coriolis acceleration. The Coriolis acceleration is visible in many physical mechanisms. Here we will explain it with the help of a crank and slotted lever mechanism. So a simplification of that is nothing but a sliding block lying on a rotating link. So this is a sliding block. We have also earlier shown you the velocity triangle construction of the sliding block on a rotating link. The point on the rotating link is A. The sliding block is termed as A dash, and O is the center of rotation. So in earlier velocity construction, the velocity of the sliding block was known, that is V A dash. In the present case, the sliding velocity is also assumed to be known, that we will term as VBA, that is sliding velocity of A dash, the sliding block, relative to A, the point on the link. So, and let's suppose the link rotates at an angular velocity of omega, and this is the sliding velocity VBA. So first I'll explain what is the Coriolis acceleration. In a finite time interval dt, infinitesimally small time interval dt, the block moves from position A to B due to velocity VBA, the sliding velocity of block with respect to the link. Let's say it moves to point B. Now the angular velocity of block, sliding block at A point is equal to omega into OA, the distance OA, and angular velocity of sliding block at point B. So after time interval dt, it has reached the point B, will be equal to omega into OB. So since OA is less than OB, so angular velocity of sliding block at B is greater than that, but at the angular velocity at point A. So some acceleration is needed for this velocity increase. For any velocity increase, there is acceleration needed. This acceleration is known as Coriolis acceleration, because it is a fictitious force. This is not a naturally applied force. The natural motion of the link is that sliding block is moving along the link and the link is rotating. There is no external force applied on the system, but it is a fictitious force or fictitious acceleration. So this is something similar to centrifugal acceleration. So there object is moving in a rotational manner, and due to change in direction of velocity, a centrifugal force is exerted on the body about axis. So similarly, this is a fictitious force similar to centrifugal acceleration. Just because of the movement of the objects, some external acceleration is occurring. So how to go on determining this acceleration? So to determine that, we will break the motion of point A into three parts. The first part is the motion due to the angular velocity from A to A1, let's suppose. So this is the initial position, and let's say this is final position of the link. So after time dt, so the point A has moved on the link to A1. The slider has moved to A1. Now the velocity direction is along the link, so it will have a motion along the link, that is due to velocity. This is part 1. This is part 2 of the motion due to the linear velocity of sliding block, and then it has to somehow come to the final position at point B by the Coriolis acceleration. So this final portion of the journey, the third part, requires some extra acceleration of the sliding block, and it generates the fictitious force that is called Coriolis acceleration. So the first part of motion is equal to is from A to A1 due to angular motion of the link. Second part is linear motion in direction of sliding velocity, that is VAB. And the third part is from, let's say this point is B, this point is B1. So from B to B1 due to an acceleration which is perpendicular to link, the link OA. So I've drawn the diagram neatly again for you. So we know the first part of the motion from A to A1 is due to angular motion. The second part is due to sliding velocity of block. The third part is something new, that is Coriolis acceleration, that is perpendicular to link OA. So we need to find, we want to find the Coriolis acceleration. For that we just need to find the displacement BB1, and from the formula that displacement is equal to half AT square, we can know the acceleration. The distance BB1 will be equal to, we just extend this R and it will cut somewhere here, let's say Q. So BB1 will be equal to R Q B1 minus R QB. Now R QB1 is equal to length OQ multiplied by the angle d theta here, and RQB is equal to AA1. So QB is equal to RAA1, and AA1 is equal to OA d theta, and QB1 is equal to OQ d theta. So d theta is taking common, OQ minus OA is AQ d theta. BB1 is equal to this one. Now AQ is the distance covered by the sliding block due to the velocity VAB. So AQ will be equal to VAB multiplied by dt, time step, and d theta will be equal to omega into dt. The angular speed of rotation multiplied by time interval is equal to angular displacement. So BB1 will be equal to VAB omega dt square, by substitution of these two expressions. Now the acceleration can be used to determine the displacement. For any displacement, the acceleration is equal to half AT square. In present case, T is equal to dt, and A is Coriolis acceleration, that is responsible for displacement from B to B1, BB1, the third part of the journey here. So equating these two, BB1 is equal to half AT square. We will put the values VAB omega dt square is equal to half a dt square. This time interval is dt square gets cancelled, and acceleration is equal to 2 omega v a b. So like this we have determined the expression for Coriolis acceleration. Now regarding the direction of Coriolis acceleration, in the present case we have seen that the link is moving in the clockwise direction and the slider is moving up. So in this case the displacement from B to B1 is towards right. So link rotating clockwise, block sliding up results in right direction. So this first case. The second case, when link rotates clockwise and block slides down. So the block is coming down in this case. So the final step of journey will be in this direction, left direction. So towards left, the direction of Coriolis acceleration. Third case, when link rotates counterclockwise and block slides down. So two negatives get cancelled out, and again you get right direction. And fourth, link rotates counterclockwise and block slides up, get towards left. So take a simple numerical on the subject of Coriolis acceleration. The problem given is there is a link and there is a block which slides on the link. So this is a sliding block. The angular velocity of the link is such that it rotates at 120 rpm, and the sliding velocity of block is given as 12 meters per second. The question asked is determine the Coriolis acceleration. So we know the formula is pretty much straightforward. 2 omega v. So for calculating omega we have 2 pi into 120 by 60. Acceleration is 2 into 2. So this will be around 4 pi. Plus 2 into 4 pi into velocity is 12 meter per second. So it's around 302 meter per second square. So you can choose the correct option. So with this we come to end of chapter 1 of the subject of theory of machine. Now I'll be taking some gate question example from all of the topics that we covered in this chapter. The year number when the question was asked in gate examination. We'll go through few examples just to get an idea of what kind of questions come in gate. So last question which was asked in gate 2008. The question was a planar mechanism has 8 links and 10 joints. So using Grubler's criterion, determine the degree of freedom of the mechanism or mobility, which is another name for the degree of freedom. So this if you recall the Grubler's formula, it was the degree of freedom is equal to 3 into n minus 1, where n is the number of links. Since in a mechanism one link is fixed, so we do n minus 1. 3 is the degree of freedom of any body in a 2D system, minus 2j1. So joints of class 1 containing all degree of freedom but 1, minus 1j2. So in this case we have 10 revolute joint, rotary joints. It is given in the problem. So all of them are of degree 1. So and number of links is 8. Substituting the value we get 3, 8 minus 1 minus 2 into 10 minus 0 is equal to 1. So degree of freedom is 1, and this is one of the choice in the objective question, and you can pick up this choice. Another question that was asked in GATE 2003 was that the length of links in a 4-bar chain, mechanical chain, are PQRS, and we know that P is less than Q, less than R is less than S. Then which of these 4 links has to be fixed for getting double crank mechanism? So this we know from our earlier study that for obtaining the double crank, the shortest link has to be fixed always. So the correct option, the shortest link. In this case, the P is less than Q is less than R is less, so shortest link here is P. So you have to pay attention. Don't go by our original terminology where we use P, Q, L, S. You see for yourself which is the shortest link here. So in this case, P is the shortest link, and hence you have to pick that. So therefore, you need to go back to your definitions of double crank, double rocker, crank rocker, and how they are formed by different inversions of a 4-bar chain. You need to remember that. Another question that was asked in GATE 2004 was a slider crank mechanism was given in a 0-degree crank angle position like this. So the crank angle theta is equal to 0 degree. So this forms almost a straight line. And question asked was find mechanical advantage of the system. So mechanical advantage, if you recall the definition, it was equal to output torque by input torque or output force by input force. That we found that by equating the energy input force into input velocity is equal to output force into output velocity. So this becomes input velocity by output velocity. So in this case, the input is the crank, rotating crank. So the slider crank pin will have some velocity, let's say Vc, and since the piston is at 0 degree, the crank is at 0 degree, the piston is at extreme position. So it is at IDC. So here motion reversal is going to take place. You can also substitute value theta is equal to 0 in the expression for. So the velocity of the piston is equal to r omega sine theta, and if you put theta is equal to 0, we will get this expression as 0. So output velocity is Vp. So this will be input velocity is Vc by Vp. Vc is some value, finite value we don't know, but Vp is 0 that we know. So hence this expression will tend to infinity. So there are 4 choices given: 0, 1, 0.5, and the choice is infinity. So you have to choose the correct position. One is D, infinity. Similar question is that for a 4-bar linkage, what is the mechanical advantage in toggle position? The toggle position is such that when the motion reversal takes place and the output velocity is 0. So for that question also the answer is same, that the mechanical advantage is infinity. Another question that was asked in GATE 2004 was from a figure. This kind of double slider arrangement was given. There is single degree of freedom here. 1, 2. What is the instantaneous center? There are various choices given. The diagram is made like this. One point is N, one point is O, one point is L here, one point is P here. So different points are given. So you know that the instantaneous center can be determined by drawing perpendicular to the velocity. So velocity block 4 will be in this direction, in the horizontal direction V4. So we'll draw a perpendicular line to V4, and similarly the velocity 2 will be along a vertical line. So we draw a perpendicular to that, and both will intersect at N. So in this case, N is the correct choice. Another question asked in GATE 2003 was that a mechanism has 5 links, determine number of instantaneous centers. So we saw earlier that there will be one instantaneous center for every combination of links. So for every combination of two links, so the number of instantaneous center is equal to NC2. In this case, N is 5, combination 2 links at a time. So 5 into 5 minus 1 by 2, which is equal to 10. So 10 instantaneous centers. We'll take up another example that came in GATE 2011. In this case, 4-bar mechanism was drawn like this, and the position is at right angles for a given time instant. So the link AB is rotating at 1 radian per second, and the question asked is find angular velocity of link CD. So in this case, you can see that AB, go on solution, AB is parallel to CD. So this is a special case of the velocity diagram that we described a few in our lecture series. So in this case, special case, VB is equal to VC, and the velocity diagram will be a straight line. AD will lie at the same point and BC will lie at the same point, if you recall that section. So VB is equal to VC. So the length of the links are also given. CD is 1.5 times AB. So VB will be equal to omega AB into length AB. VC will be equal to omega CD into length CD. So omega AB we know, and VB is equal to VC. So we can equate these two expressions. Omega, so AB gets cancelled out, and omega CD is 1 divided by 1.5, that is equal to 2 by 3, which is one of the choices in the answers, and you can pick the correct choice. So in a 4-bar chain, not always the construction of velocity triangle is needed, but sometimes you need to remember the concepts that in the special case VB is equal to VC. So you will be normally asked that kind of questions only in GATE, where you don't need to construct a triangle from a protractor, scale, compass. You just can see the problem and simply answer it by if you remember the basic principles. I'll take up another example that was asked in GATE 2010. In this case, rotary link was given and a sliding block was present. The block was sliding in a link, and that link itself was connected to a rotary joint. So this point was A, B is the sliding block, and C, and D is the link inside the sliding block. For a given time instant, the AB link makes 60 degrees with respect to horizontal, and it rotates at the angular speed of 10 radian per second counterclockwise, and the lengths are given. AB is given as 250 millimeter, BC is given as 250 square root of 3 millimeter, and AC is given as 500 millimeter. So a question asked is that determine sliding velocity of block B, the sliding block. Now, if you recall our construction for a sliding block on a link, know all the angles. So in the present problem, the lengths are given such that you can get the geometry very easily. So this is 60 degree. The length AB is 250, AC is 500, and ABC is 250 square root of 3. So if you just apply a little bit of common sense, you can see that this angle is 5. This 500 250 is half of 500. So sine 60 degree is half. Sorry, cos 60 degree is half, and this is 250 root 3. So sine 60 degree is root 3 by 2. So 500 into root 3 by 2 will be equal to 250 root 3. So from that simple logic, this angle is equal to 30 degree. Since this angle is equal to 30 degree, then this is a right angle, 90 degree. So since this is 90 degree, hence AB is perpendicular to the length DC. C of B will be along DC. AB is perpendicular to DC, and VB, velocity of length B, is perpendicular to DC. So hence VB is parallel to DC. In this case, the entire velocity of B is parallel to DC. There is no component perpendicular to DC. And you know the magnitude of velocity of VB. VB will be equal to omega into, and the radius is 250. VB is 2500 millimeter or 2.5 meter per second. So this is the correct answer, which is present in the options, and you can pick up this. I'll take up another question that was asked in GATE 2009. In this case, a simple quick return mechanism was shown. So this is a crank which rotates, and there is a sliding block on the quick return link. This link goes up and has the quick return block attached to it, and this crank is rotating at an angular speed of omega. So in this case, the crank radius is given with 125 mm, and it is given that the quick return ratio is 2:1. So what question asked is, what is distance between crank center, let's say this is point O, and the lever pivot of the lever, which is oscillating. This link will be oscillating for the quick return mechanism. So P. The question is, find OP, distance between crank center and the lever center. The quick return mechanism, if you recall, it is formed by a velocity, by a circle, where this is the oscillating link. This is point P. This is point O. The point O, the link, let's say the block is at B. So the OB rotates and forms, and it is rotating counterclockwise. The forward slope is in this direction. The forward stroke is longer, this much angle, and the return stroke is quicker. That's why it's called a quick return mechanism. Now it is given that the quick return ratio is 2:1. So this angle is twice of this angle. Let's say this angle is theta, and the other angle is 2 theta. Theta plus 2 theta is equal to 360 degrees from the circle. So theta is equal to 120 degrees. It is straightforward. And you are asked now the distance OP. So we know OB is given, that is crank radius is 125 mm. This angle theta is 120 degree, and by symmetry half of theta by 2 will be 60 degree. So this is 60 degree, and tangent to the circle is a right angle. So this is a right angle triangle. This angle is 60 degree. Since this length OB is 125 mm, then OP is equal to OB by cos theta by 2. Since this is a half angle, theta by 2 here, theta by 2 here, whole thing is 2 pi minus theta or 2 theta. And cos theta by 2 is 60 degree, OB is 125, cos 60 degree is half, so the OP is 250. So this is our answer, you can pick up. Similar questions have been asked in past, so you may as well memorize this thing. If the equivalent ratio is 2:1, then the distance between the center is twice the triangle radius. I'll list another question which employs of the velocity diagram. So a disk is given, the center of rotation of the disk is O, and there is a line on disk, and there are 2 points on the disk named A and B. So disk rotates about O. Now both A and B will have some angular velocity. So it is asked that for a given time instance, the question 1 is the velocity of point B with respect to point A will be how much? So the magnitude of the velocity of point A will be omega into OA, and the equal to VA, and VB will be equal to omega into OB. Since OB is greater than OA, so VB will be greater than AB. Velocity of B relative to A will be omega OB minus OA. B is moving faster. But what about the direction? For finding the direction, we need to draw the velocity diagram. This is the point O, which is static, about which the things are rotating. It is rotating clockwise. The velocity of point A will be this much, VA. The velocity of point will be again in the same direction, but somewhat longer because the radius is longer. This is VB. So the distance connecting both these two will be VAB. This is velocity of A relative to B. So since VAB is in this direction, so VBA, velocity of B relative to A will be in this direction. Velocity of B relative to A in this direction. So direction is in same sense as VB. This is, in the options it was asked that what is the magnitude and direction of B. So B magnitude is omega OB minus OA, and direction is same sense as VB. The second part of this question was that the acceleration of point B with respect to point A. So in this case they are not accelerating in the radial direction, but since the velocity direction is changing, since the motion is angular, velocity direction is changing, and hence they will be subjected to centripetal acceleration. Now the centripetal acceleration is given as omega square r. So centripetal acceleration of A will be omega square OA, and centripetal acceleration of B will be omega square OB. So the centripetal acceleration of B relative to A will be omega square OB minus OA, and its direction will be towards the center O.